back to the kitchen. And today we are going to make the Lunchroom chocolate peanut butter bars that I used to have when I was in school, in the school cafeteria, and these are delicious. So if you haven't had these, you're going to want to try them. These are not a no-bake treat. I think I've become the queen of melt and pour treats, so I'll probably have some other ones to share. And it's real simple. These are the ingredients that we're going to need. You're going to need 2 cups of peanut butter. I usually like to use the crunchy peanut butter, but you can use creamy. And in fact, for this batch, I had to use 1 cup of crunchy and 1 cup of creamy because I ran out of the crunchy. But that's fine. I also put this in the microwave for about 20 to 25 seconds just to melt it down a little bit so it's easier to stir. Now to this, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of your favorite honey. Just put that in there and we're going to stir that up. Don't want to waste any honey. Those bees work so hard for every little drop, so I make sure I get all of it out of there. And let's just stir that up a little bit. Get that honey mixed in there real good. Now the next thing we're going to add is a 1/2 cup of powdered milk, or non-fat dry milk. Sometimes it comes in a box. I just have this kind in a package. And as a little tip, for those of you that are pro-protein, you can substitute the dry milk with protein powder, and that's what I'm going to do. This is an unflavored protein powder, so it doesn't have a taste. But all this is just like dry milk on steroids. It just has more protein. The taste is the same. And I'll put a link to this Naked Whey down in the description. This is the kind I like. You can just pop a spoonful into anything and it gives it a little more protein, which gives it a little more staying powder. So here's the protein powder. I'm going to put that in here now. And let's see if we can mix this up without making too much of a mess. Just stirring these up. I know when I was younger and they would have these in the cafeteria, everybody would get so excited. And we would want to be sure that we got there for lunch on chocolate peanut butter bar day. And this recipe actually came from the lady who was in charge of the cafeteria when I was in school. So it is authentic, other than the fact that I substituted protein powder for the milk. Now, the last little thing we're going to add is 2 cups of cornflake type cereal. And once you measure out 2 cups, you're going to want to crunch it all up. So I just put it in a baggie. You don't want to just pulverize it. You don't want it to be powdery, but you do want it to be smallish chunks. That looks pretty good. And then we're going to put this into the batch as well. Now if this gets a little bit too hard to stir, you can always pop it right back in the microwave for just a few seconds and it will soften that peanut butter up just a little. And I think that's what I'm going to do, just so I can get it stirred up really well. Be right back. Alright, now we're cooking with peanut oil. I just put it in the microwave for a little while longer, about 20 more seconds, so I could stir it up better. The peanut butter had gotten pretty thick again. So anywho, warm it up a little bit, soften that peanut butter up, and stir all those ingredients up really good. Now we're going to put them in a pan. This particular recipe makes it's candy, so if you use a smaller pan, it's just going to be thicker. If you use a larger pan, it's going to be really thin, so you can make your choice. You can half this recipe really easily, and it makes a pan about half this size. I have some little small pans. Sometimes I'll do that if it's just a couple of us that want to eat a quick snack. Now, pour this into your pan, and we're going to spread it out. Clean this pretty good. I don't like to waste any because it's too good. Now we're going to spread this out as evenly as possible, but you know what? It will eat and it will be good even if it's not perfect, because Mom's not perfect. I try, Lord knows, but sometimes I just don't make it. But anyway, I've never had anybody refuse to eat one because it was a little bit lumpy or uneven. So I'm guessing that's not a deal breaker. Okay, get this over to the edges. Just like so. And you can use a 13 by 9 cake pan. It's just going to have taller sides. So spreading, spreading, spreading. Okay, now what we need is the chocolate topping, and all we're going to use for that is 1 cup of chocolate chips. You can also, if you don't have chocolate chips and you just want to run to the nearest quick stop, you can use just candy bars. You can melt candy bars because all it is milk chocolate. In fact, I use the Nestle milk chocolate ones. So I like the way that tastes. You can use the semi-sweet. It's all up to you. You can even use white chocolate or the almond bark over it. That's a totally different taste, but it's good. Now, I have about 1 cup of chocolate chips, so I'm going to put them in the microwave for about 10 to 15 second bursts, stirring in between because I don't want them to seize up. So you have to be careful when you're melting your chocolate chips. So let me go melt those and I'll be right back. Okay, have it melted down now. As you can see, it's just like a thick, creamy substance. Milk chocolate is harder to melt than the semi-sweet, so you need to be sure you're just doing like 10-second bursts in the microwave. It's also helpful if you turn your power down, like to medium, to melt it. And if when it melts it's still too thick, which happened to me this time, it was still too thick to spread easily, you can put like a teaspoonful of shortening, not oil, but like hard solid shortening in there, and stir it around, not too much or it won't harden back up, but like a teaspoonful at the time, and stir it around until you get it to where you can spread it. We're not going to pour it, we're just going to spread it. So now we're going to scoop this out onto our peanut butter mixture, and we're just going to spread it just like so. And you know, if you want a thicker topping, then you just use more chocolate chips. In fact, it looks like, now I can spread it. I usually make a thicker topping, but this will be fine. We're just going to spread this evenly all the way across the peanut butter, just like this. Let me clean our jar out here. Get all the goodie out of there. All right. And work on getting this spread evenly. And there we go. And that is the Lunchroom Lady chocolate peanut butter bars. So we're going to let these cool before we cut them. Now, you don't want to let them get too hard, so I'll usually let them cool about half an hour and then cut, because if you let them cool for too long, they'll be hard. And I usually use this little spatula in fact, it's probably, no, not yet. But I just cut along and make it into bars and then keep them in the refrigerator. Don't refrigerate it until you cut them because it will be too hard, okay? And that's all for Mom's Kitchen today. Make sure you check the description for the recipe. See y'all next time. Bye.